It's the money matches, and let a big weekend of semi-final rugby begin. In the Premiership and the URC, it's going to be spicy in some of those games. There are some massive derbies. I'll be covering all of them. I am actually going to be on a plane during some of the matches on Saturday, so I won't be able to give you instant reaction to all of the games, but I will definitely give a full and thorough preview of every single one as the teams get announced. We have the teams for tonight's opener in the Premiership. It's Bristol against Bath, and this one has got so much history on it. Get stuck in the comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, check back in for the other semi-final reviews, previews, I should say, and reviews on the channel as they come. It's going to be a great weekend of rugby. Also, I would just point out, there is also the final of the Pro D2 in France, which you can see live on my other channel, FR UK Rugby, for free. Free-to-air rugby is coming back in fashion. So do make sure to check that one out. That's tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. kickoff. Nicely in between a couple of the Premiership and URC semi-finals. But without further ado, this game between Bristol and Bath is a match which has so much edge on it. Now, I lived in Bath for about 6 years. I was a student there, and then I got my first house in Bath with my brother, who was playing at Bath at the time, but I had a bunch of mates that played at Bristol. So it was just such a fun time to be there. But that's just my own experience. The rivalry cuts deep. I live in Manchester now, and it's a funny one because Manchester United fans, I think they do it partly to wind up Man City. I think there's a bit of truth in it, but they also like to wind up Man City by saying that the Manchester derby is not the biggest match. Our game against Liverpool is our big game. It's a bit like that with Bath. They always tell Bristol fans, yeah, you're not our derby. The big derby match is against Gloucester. I've been at many a Bath versus Bristol game, and honestly, there is edge, there is spice, and with the prize of a place in the Premiership final, this is going to be a dynamite match. It dates back to 1888. That was the first time these teams played each other. I've watched some seriously memorable Bath-Bristol derbies over the years. I think back to Lee Robinson. I was at this game. I watched this game at the Rec. Lee Robinson ran in the winning try in the dying moments to give Bristol a win 1916. And there's been so many tight games down the years. Another one, Felipe Contepomi in 2005, I think this was, and or 2003 actually, and he scored an interception, last minute winner again. We had a 100-point thriller this year, which Bristol won. A total brain fart from Finn Russell, and he just threw the ball to Rich Lane to score. We had Ellis Genge scoring a wonder try. Was that last year? I think that was last year. And he scored an incredible try, and Bristol won 31-29. That was Johan van Graan's first game in charge, actually. And then, I've only picked Bristol wins so far, but Bath have had a fair few in their time, not least Phil de Glanville in 2022 with a last-minute winner. So there's been so many, that was 29-27. So there's been so many tight matches and last-minute winners. And I think there's going to be drama in this one as well. As for the teams, Bath are going full noise, except for, I suppose, Sam Underhill. Missing is a blow, but Guy Pepper's had a really strong year. He'll be trying to make a case that he should be on the England summer tour to Argentina. Guys like Charlie Ewels have had massive seasons. Ted Hill's been brilliant. Benno Urbano, Will Stewart, Tom Dunn has been an outstanding front row. In the back line, Spencer Russell is top class. And then they have got serious ball players in midfield with Redpath and Ajomo. And on the wings, two big men, fast men, who just run back and forward, chasing kicks, running hard. They work so hard. They've got a real good team, but I'll tell you where they do have some X factor on the bench. 6-2 split, but in my opinion, the best player in the Premiership is on the bench. Thomas du Toit making his 50th appearance in this game. He is just an unreal rugby player. As for Bristol, Rich Lane is not there at fullback. Noah Hewitt is in. They juggle things around in midfield. Ravuvu going onto the wing. He's been sensational this year with James Williams coming in. Other than that, it's basically as strong as Bristol can go, pretty much. And yeah, I mean, the halfback battle is going to be amazing. In fact, I'll tell you what I've done. I've taken the Bath team and the Bristol team, and I'm going to put them together and pick a combined side. And tell me what you think of this. I'm going to go head to head and pick a team, and it gives you a bit of an indication of where this game might be won and lost for either team. Obviously, home advantage is going to be massive for Bath. Ellis Genge, I pick him just over Beno Obano. I think they're both great. Ellis Genge, obviously British and Irish Lion, England #1. Beno Obano, not currently in the England reckoning in that jersey. I think he deserves to be in and around. He's been brilliant. Obviously, he's got the pain of the final last year and that red card, but big battle straight off the bat. Ellis Genge, I'll give him the edge. Tom Dunn's been so good this year, so I'm kind of regretting picking Gabriel Ogre now. Ogre's closer to the England reckoning. Tom Dunn's been the better player this year. I'll stick with Ogre. Definitely going for Will Stewart in the front row. So one of the areas of particular strength for Bath has been in the tight, and the scrum is solid. Ben Spencer and Finn Russell have got a really solid platform to work from. Bristol are no mugs there. When you think of Bristol, you just think of this like ball-playing team. But they've got a lot more to them than that. Second row, one of each. Joe Batley and Charlie Ewells both had excellent seasons. Batley would have been in my team of the season. In fact, he was in the team of the season, wasn't he? It was announced yesterday. He was in the team of the season. In fact, I think it was these two guys, wasn't it? But Batley hasn't played that much rugby this year. That's why I didn't pick him. Quinn Rue and Jack Dunn are both excellent players as well, but those two particularly good. Back row, Ted Hill against Stephen Luatua. The just evergreen Stephen Luatua, but Ted Hill, beast. And I think he's going to hit beast mode in this game today. Line out forward, incredible ball runner, can be an edge forward, running out on the wing. Incidentally, when we're going through this squad, it is funny how straight after the game last weekend, when Bristol had secured 4th spot and an opportunity to play Bath, Pat Lam, in his interview post-match, was straight on to the Bath game, talking about their budget. They're the biggest spenders in the league, which they are. And Pat Lam said Bristol are the third lowest spending team in the Premiership. Only Newcastle and Exeter have spent less on their squad than Bristol, which actually, to be honest, is an amazing achievement for Bristol to be in the top 4, if that is the case. And Pat Lam was straight on about it. Like, Bath are like the Georgian town, wealthy, very affluent, the Roman baths. They've got all the cash. Pat Lam's, spinning this narrative about they're the ones with all the cash. And like, we're just the poor boys from up the road in Bristol, the city lads from Bristol up the road. I love the narrative. This is how you build up games and build up rivalries and tell the story. And you can tell Pat Lam all week's going to be drilling into his team. Ellis Genge will have been saying it. They're the posh lads up the road. Let's go and rough them up. It's going to be so much fun. Fitz Harding, captain for Bristol. And, if it was Sam Underhill was playing, it would have been him. Guy Pepper's really good, but I've gone for Fitz Harding and I've gone for Bill Matter. So 5 out of the starting pack, I've just gone for Bristol over Bath, which, when you think about Bath and how good they are up front, you wouldn't necessarily think that. It's just to make the point. Bristol are good up front as well. Will they have it for 80 minutes? That's another question altogether. The thing is, where it really counts, Bath have got just that little bit extra class. Harry Randall, he's above Spencer in the England pecking order. Spencer, though, in the Premiership has been incredible, as has Finn Russell. But AJ McGinty is no mug either. That half-back battle is going to be so good to watch. And whoever gets on top there, and that's why the platform that the pack give them is so important, and the go forward of guys like Bill Matter and Ted Hill going to be so influential for this game, because it will mean that Ben Spencer and Finn Russell or Harry Randall and AJ McGinty can be moving onto the ball and getting their backs and their game plan moving. In the centre, one of each. Cam Redpath, him with Finn Russell, club and country, lovely understanding there. Really, really like Max Ajomo, and I am so hoping that he goes on the England tour this summer and starts to get in the mix, because his ceiling is high and he is a baller. And this is a big game for him opposite Bernard Janzi van Rensburg, who will not now be able to play for England. The eligibility means he was thinking next year he would be eligible, but looks like he's not. On the wings, this is another really interesting matchup, because Will Muir, the horse, he's been amazing in the Prem for a few years now. Joe Thockner-Singer, likewise. Neither of them on the England radar. But then again, neither is Gabriel Ibitoye on the other side. And along with Kalaveti Ravuvu, who has been playing a lot of his rugby in the centre this season, but, he's played a fair bit on the wing as well. It's hard to know who you pick. And this is just one of those, you could go down either side. I think what Muir and Coconasinger do for their team is perfect for Bath. Ibitoye and Ravuvu, the way they play, is perfect for Bristol and their game plan. So I wouldn't change the wingers. If I was the Bath coach or a Bath supporter, I would want Muir and Thockner-Singer. If I was a Bristol fan or supporter or coach, I would want the two that I had. As it is, I put them both in my team of the season for the Premiership, so I kind of came down on the side of Ibitoye and Ravuvu. Again, just highlighting, it's mad, isn't it? Look, the sort of decision-making, play-making positions, Bath have just got an edge, but when it actually gets to the edges, maybe Bristol have got a slight edge. Fullback, I went for de Glanville over Heward. The bench, here we go. More even than I would have predicted it would have been. I thought I might have gone for many more Bath players. Pedro Rubiolo could be a game changer. Now, he was at Newcastle and he had an injury that looked like his season was over. So Newcastle just went, fine, just go to Bristol now. You go in there next season anyway. Why don't you just go now? Get him off our wage bill. And here he is, fit and available. A 20-odd cap Argentinian international and a really promising young rugby player can just go and take some names in the second half. And Bristol need that because Bath have got some proper meat coming off the bench, particularly those two props, Francois van Veek and Thomas du Toit, two South Africans off the bench. That's the scary thing for Bristol. I think that is where the game is going to be won and lost. Hear me now, believe me later. Francois van Veek and Thomas du Toit are going to change the game when they come on. Ellis Gengel have been softened up a bit. He might try and play 60, 70 minutes of this match. Thomas du Toit will come on when Ellis Gengel is a bit tired. And I think those two are going to go to town on Bristol's pack. And I think that penalties, that territory, 3 points, the difference that that's going to make, along with the energy of Miles Reid and Josh Bayliss off the bench, I think that might make a difference. But it is why Pedro Rubiolo on the bench for Bristol could be so influential, because that guy's a serious rugby player. So I do think it's going Bath's way, just. But I cannot wait for this one. Rolling back the years to some of those classics that there's been, getting right in the middle of that Pat Lam, Johan van Gran, you're the rich guys up the road, we're the poor lads from the city. I mean, Bristol are owned by a billionaire, Steve Lansdowne, but clearly not spending all of his kids' inheritance on this season. They've spent big in the past, not so much this year. It's going to be great. I'll be doing this for all of the semi-finals as the teams get announced. And like I say, keep checking back in on the channel. Let me know what you think and hit subscribe.